Hello everyone, this is The Big Fight and I'm Maria Shakil. Why are farmers protesting? What's their demand? Because this time there is no trigger like the last time where they were opposing the farm laws, calling them black laws and draconian. The farmer protest has been organized by groups primarily from Punjab and Haryana, and they have two major demands. First, that minimum support price should be written into law, which means it should become a farmer's right. And two, the calculation of MSP should include assumed rent, even in case of owned land, as well as some capital cost. The central government has made it clear that there is no way a legal guarantee can be given promising procurement at MSP as fixed on the basis of the recommendations of the MS Swaminathan Committee, which is 1.5 times the cost plus profit plus the normative cost of family labor, given the fact that typically the entire family of a farmer toils on their land. Farmers in many countries demand MSP as agricultural prices are very volatile. For instance, when a farmer is about to sow his crop, the price of rice or wheat may be in the range of 3,000 to 4,000 rupees per quintal. But by the time rice comes to the market, because at the time of harvest, there are many more who have brought their produce to the market, at that time the prices usually crash to say around 1,500 to 2,000 rupees per quintal, almost by half. So in order to cover the losses, the government of India announces MSP for 23 major crops every year. Actually, rice, wheat and some pulses are bought by the government on MSP. A rough estimate suggests an MSP as a legal guarantee for 23 crops can run into 10 lakh crores. To put this in perspective for our viewers, this is the same amount the government has set aside for infrastructure in the recent interim budget. So as much as the entire infrastructure project of the government. So argument is that universal MSP demand does not have any economic or fiscal sense. CRISIL, which is a marketing intelligence and analytics firm, analyzed 16 of 23 crops, which account for over 90% of the production of the field. And the real cost to the government will be the difference between MSP and mandi prices, which works around 21,000 crore a year. For farmers, it would mean cash support during times when prices plummet below MSP and freedom to sow crops of their choice. One view is that MSP is a support price and is supposed to be the last resort. While procurement of wheat and rice is done annually by the government, it cannot be done for all crops every year. In fact, several agroeconomists question MSP on another ground. They say how milk, which accounts for 30% of the farm produce and is not covered by it, is nevertheless getting remunerative price. So the question that we ask on The Big Fight tonight is, what is then the answer to this festering problem? Is this really a fair demand of the protesting farmers? Joining me on this show, Amrinder Singh Raja is the president of Punjab Congress. We have Viren Singh Mast, BJP MP. Sardar VM Singh is the president of Kisan Morcha. We also have Vijay Sardana, agriculture economist. Krishan Bir Chaudhary is a member of MSP Committee of the Government of India. Shah Mohammed representing the Congress. Akshay Marathe of the Aam Aadmi Party. Shiv Kumar Kaka is member of SKM Farm Leader. Pushpendra Chaudhary is president of Kisan Shakti Sangh. And Naresh Sirohi is former national vice president and also former founder advisor of DD Kisan channel. I'm going to begin with opening punch to all the panelists. Amrinder Singh Raja, you have 1 minute to set your point. Viren Singh Mast, पहला आपसे पूछेंगे, आपका क्या व्यू है कि क्या ये लीगल है? क्या इसको लीगल होना चाहिए? वीरेंद्र सिंह मस्त जी, अगर आप सुन सकते हैं हमारी आवाज. I think there is some problem with that line. We'll try let me bring Sardar Singh now. Sardar Singh, your opening comments on this. One view is that 86% farmers in the country are small and marginal farmers who are net buyers of food grains, and forcing the state to sustain artificially high prices by purchasing an MSP fuels inflation and hurts these farmers.
Maria, let me get back to what you started with, 86% of the marginal farmers. These marginal farmers, they have vegetables, they have fruits, they have milk. And today, what you were talking about milk as such as getting a remunerative price is far from true. Milk today is being sold in the villages for less than what water is being sold there. Water bottles is being sold there. That's the reality of life. Nonetheless, what the farmers, 86% farmers are marginal. They require all this. It's not that I'm adding on to the demands. It is something that 40 years ago, they came in a concept of market intervention price. Let the government just, they have to just intervene. Nobody's saying 10 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees or 7 lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees or 21,000 rupees, 20,000 crore rupees or whatever. It is something very, very clear that if the prices go down, then the government intervenes for perishable and horticulture goods. Now, whatever that means, everything is covered in that. Now, this is something as such which I don't understand, that there's such a hullabaloo about the whole thing. And then why not? The Prime Minister himself, when he was in the working group,
Sardar Singh ji, I'm going to come back to you. Let me bring in others. Amrinder Singh Raja, and I'm hoping that he is with us now. Oh, he's still not there with us. Vijay Sardana, coming to you. Your opening comments on the entire idea. Is this a legal demand of the farmers?
See, in this country, consumers are paying much higher than MSP. And farmers are getting much lower than MSP, what my friends are saying. The fundamental issue is who is looting farmers' share. Yes, it is important. Intervention is required. Intervention is required where the loot is happening to prevent the loot. Why no farmer leader is asking this demand that money which is paid by the farmer, paid by the consumer, is not reaching the farmer? Government must do something there. And to address this, when all the activities are under state control, irrigation, fertilizer, seed, everything, why mandis are given to the private people? Why mandis are not allocated to the farmer organization so that they do their own marketing, talk to the customer, whatever customer is paying, it goes directly to the farmers. Here, the whole problem is that country is paying the right price to the farmers, but it is not reaching the farmer, and no farmer leader is demanding that mandis must be handed over to the farmer associations and organizations.
Okay.
So that all the people, those who are looting farmers, must be out
You can
of the system.
Elaborate on your point after everybody has made their opening comments. Krishan Bir Chaudhary, MSP committee member of the Government of India. Go ahead.
मारिया जी, सवाल ये है कि ये जब हमारा सिस्टम है मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस का, ये उस समय शुरू किया था 67 में, और आज की स्थिति हम सरप्लस में हैं। अभी विजय सरदाना सही वो कह रहे थे कि जब किसान का माल आता है तो प्राइस डाउन कर दिया जाता है और कंज्यूमर को शोषण अलग किया जाता है, वो कंज्यूमर को नहीं मिलता। ये सही बात है कि किसानों को बाजार में जब तक नहीं खड़ा किया जा रहा है तब तक उनका शोषण हो रहा है। तो एमएसपी पर जब खरीदने की बात हम करते हैं तो कोई भी दुनिया की कोई भी सरकार बिजनेस नहीं करती, वो डिफेंस का करती है, हेल्थ का करती है, एजुकेशन का करती है, सब करती है। लेकिन किसानों को भी बाजार के शोषण करने वाली ताकतों से बचाने के लिए कुछ व्यवस्थाओं की जरूरत है, जिसमें किसानों को बाजार में खड़ा करना। सरकार इस प्रयास में कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर में एक नई शुरुआत कर रही है। 67,000 पैक्स को खड़ा किया जा रहा है, 10,000 एफपीओज को खड़ा किया जा रहा है। इसके लिए 7,700 बन चुके हैं देश के अंदर। और इसके बाद कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर का तो ये एक प्रयास है सरकार का, किसानों को खड़ा करना और किसानों कंज्यूमर से जोड़ना। इसके अलावा मेरा एक और भी सुझाव है कि बाजार में भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स को राइडर रखना पड़ेगा कि न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य से कम पे ना हो, क्योंकि मंडी जो है वो स्टेट लाइसेंस देती है, स्टेट गवर्न करती है, स्टेट का कंट्रोल होता है। तो स्टेट की ये भी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हो कि वो उसको राइडर रखते हुए अपने किसानों को शोषण से बचाए। ये बहुत समय की आवश्यकता है। समय के साथ साथ सुधार करना जरूरी है।
Shah Mohammed, the Congress party has made a promise that it will legalize MSP. But given the kind of, how it is often seen as unsustainable, it's bad economics, what is the basis of this, promise, if not pure politics?
I don't agree with you, Maria. Let's understand world over farmers are facing crisis. You have to understand in America, it is $78 billion, 78 lakhs per farmer they give every year. In Europe, $100 billion our European Union keeps aside for subsidies. China keeps aside $250 billion. So you need to understand that how the support system for the farmers are. They need it. It's very important. What happens is there are a lot of weather issues here. There are only 2 crops which get mainly MSP and they're asking for 23 crops. So you have to understand also, we have reduced this government has reduced the corporate tax, but they are not willing to make the MSP legal, which is very, very important for these farmers because of the fluctuation of prices and the issues. An average income in a farmer household with non-agricultural mode is 10,000, but with agriculture only, some of the houses get only around 2,000 rupees. Now, what is a farmer supposed to do? It's told that in India, the farmer is Bhagwan Bharosa. Now, let's understand what the BJP did. Why does the farmers not trust the Bharatiya Janata Party?
I'm going to come back to you.
In 2014 manifesto, they said we will give
on what the BJP didn't do and what you did right, perhaps as per you. Let me bring in Akshay Marathe now. Akshay Marathe, it's time to elections. Everybody is saying that there is no immediate trigger. This is a long pending demand of the farmers and that it is your state government which has much to explain.
First of all, I think the fundamental question that we should answer as a society, as a country is, do farmers deserve dignity and do they have a right to life just like everybody else does? All the economists who are coming on television on these debates and saying that the market should not be intervened with, the government should not set prices, the same kinds of lives and quality of life that the economists are enjoying, I think, and the Aam Aadmi Party thinks, the farmers also deserve a right to upward social mobility. And all that the farmers in India are asking for is that just like they see around them that other industries are growing, the country is growing, then why should the farmers be left behind? After all, they are the ones who are putting food on our plate. We are eating the pizzas that they are that their produce is making. We are drinking the milkshakes that their produce is making. So how is it unfair for them to ask for their fair share? And this after the BJP repeatedly promised that we will double their income, we will give them MSP, we will give them additional sources of income. So now the volte-face and the betrayal that the BJP has done on the farmers is what has resulted in them coming out on the streets. This should have been ideally resolved through dialogue and mature dialogue.
Okay, so has there been dialogue between you and the government, Shiv Kumar Kaka? चर्चा हुई है, काफी सारी चर्चा हुई है, कितनी बार चर्चा हुई है, तो आगे बात कहां तक पहुंची?
बात जहां की तहां खड़ी हुई है, अभी कोई निष्कर्ष नहीं निकला है, सरकार गंभीर नहीं है हमारे जो प्रमुख मांगे हैं उनको लेकर। चर्चाएं बहुत हो रही हैं, फार्मूले भी आते हैं। अब फार्मूला दिया है कि 5 फसलों को हम खरीदेंगे एमएसपी पर, वो कंपनियां खरीदेंगी, तो ये 5 फसलें ऑलरेडी एमएसपी से ऊपर बिक रही हैं बाजार में, तो उनका कोई औचित्य नहीं है। हम कंपनियों क्यों देंगे? मान लीजिए तुअर का एमएसपी 7,000 रुपया है और मार्केट में बिक रहा है वो 12,000, तो हम 12,000 में व्यापारी को देंगे। उसी प्रकार मूंग भी हाई रेट पे बिक रही है, मक्का भी बिक रहा है, तो हम इन फसलों को क्यों देंगे? इनका तो बाजार ही समर्थन मूल्य से ऊपर हो चुका है, तो नहीं देंगे। कपास का जरूर थोड़ा सा होता है, जब कपास आता है तो ये कपास के निर्यात पर रोक लगाते हैं और कपास खरीदी लेट करते हैं 1.5 से 2 महीना, उसके कारण कपास के दाम बहुत गिर जाते हैं, तो कपास उत्पादक किसान परेशान होता है। तो इसलिए ये जो फार्मूला हम लोगों ने कहा था कि आप होमवर्क करके आइए, तो जो फार्मूला दिया उन्होंने वो फार्मूला किसानों को पसंद नहीं है कि भाई हम तो ऑलरेडी इससे अधिक दाम में बेच रहे हैं, तो आप कौन हमसे एहसान कर रहे हैं? और 5 साल के लिए कंपनियां हैं, नाफेड है, ये हमसे परचेज करेंगे सामान।
चलिए,
तो ये तो
पुष्पेंद्र
दालें
चौधरी,
हमसे पहले से परचेज करते हैं।
Pushpendra Chaudhary is the president of Kisan Shakti Sangh. MSP very well understood, the government has done its part, but legalizing it and going beyond what is there, because right now it is given for 23 crops, but when you legalize it, will it not be causing other economic challenges?
देखिए मारिया जी, जो आपने अपनी रिपोर्ट में बात कही है कि ये 10 लाख करोड़ रुपए का खर्चा आ जाएगा, ये अगर आप 2 दिन पहले ही ये इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में ये मेरा ही लेख छपा था, द मिनिमम सपोर्ट, और मुझे आशा है आप बहुत गंभीर पत्रकार है तो कुछ आप इंडियन एक्सप्रेस भी देख लेती होंगी। अगर इस आर्टिकल को आप पढ़ लेती तो आपकी रिपोर्ट का सारा ही सिस्टम अलग होता। जो हमारी मांग है वो ये है कि एमएसपी की लीगल गारंटी दी जाए और एमएसपी C2 + 50% जो इनका वायदा था, स्वामीनाथन आयोग की जो है रिकमेंडेशन थी, उसके अनुसार तय की जाए। इसका अर्थ ये नहीं है कि सारा सामान सरकार को खरीदना। सरकार वो फसल खरीदे जो उसको जो है फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट के लिए रिक्वायरमेंट है। बाकी फसल जो है व्यापारी जो हमारी 25-30% की लूट करता चला आ रहा है, जो केवल 5-6 लाख करोड़ रुपए का माल एमएसपी की 23 फसलों का व्यापारी खरीदता, उसके ऊपर भी एमएसपी बाध्यकारी हो जाएगी, तो इसमें कोई आपत्ति नहीं है। और जो कंज्यूमर के विषय में अगर आप आज का भी इंडियन एक्सप्रेस पढ़ती तो ये एग्रीकल्चर सपोर्ट हमारे यहाँ पर जो है ये -1.6% ऑफ दी, ये जो ग्राफ रेड वाला दिख रहा है ना आपको, ये देखिए, तो इसमें हमारे यहाँ एग्रीकल्चर सपोर्ट है -1.6% ऑफ द जीडीपी। अगर आज की वैल्यू मानूं तो 5 लाख करोड़ रुपया मेरी जेब से जो कंज्यूमर है उसकी जेब में जाता है। यूएस में 0.5% ऑफ द जीडीपी, क्योंकि उनकी ट्रिलियंस में है, करीब $25 ट्रिलियन की इकोनॉमी है, वो सपोर्ट देते हैं। और चाइना भी 1.7% ऑफ द जीडीपी अपने किसानों को देता है, और हम -1.6% बिकॉज ऑफ रेस्ट्रिक्टिव ट्रेड प्रैक्टिसेस एंड अदर पॉलिसीज दैट वी मेक, बिकॉज ऑफ विच मनी फ्रॉम माई पॉकेट इज पुल्ड आउट एंड गिवन टू द कंज्यूमर्स। ये इस देश में हो रहा है।
Okay.
10 लाख करोड़ का आपका ये नैरेटिव बनाना बिल्कुल गलत है।
Okay, then.
और मैं इसको
Okay, so then you are of the opinion that the legal cost of MSP is exaggerated. Vijay Sardana, respond to that.
See, you are talking about MSP for Dr. Swaminathan formula. That is cost plus 50%. Now look at I'm sorry, with due regards to Dr. Swaminathan, this is a defective and misleading formula for the economy and the country. What it says, as the cost will increase, MSP will increase and proportionately profit will increase by 50%. Where is the incentive for the farmer to adopt a new technology or better technology? Number one. Even today, the cost of paddy production in Punjab is 842 rupees per quintal. As per Dr. Swaminathan formula, the MSP should be 1261. Government of India is paying 2153 rupees. Are Punjab farmers willing to adopt Dr. Swaminathan formula and give up another 1000 rupees per quintal? Now they will say we want averaging. It means pay for inefficiency of others. It means in Maharashtra, if it is cost of production is 3200, MSP goes almost like 4900 plus. They want averaging. Now, the problem is this is only going to benefit two people. Large farmers, those who have surplus, because majority of small farmers, they keep the crop for themselves and for their animals. And as the MSP will grow every year, because they will say compensate for inflation also, so the commission agents, commission by default will continue to
So
increase.
you are essentially saying that it will be the middleman who will be the beneficiary here. Pushpendra
Large
Chaudhary.
farmer and middleman, nobody else.
Pushpendra Chaudhary, did you get your response?
इनकी गणना सारी गलत है, और सीएसीपी जो है सरकार की खुद की एजेंसी है, वो जो है सारे देश में से यूनिवर्सिटी से रिसर्च करके और सब तरीके से निकालती है प्राइस कि ये लागत है इसकी। भाई बीच में बोलने की आवश्यकता है भाई समझाना जी,
मैं रेफरेंस बता रहा हूं आपको कि सीएसीपी का डेटा जो बता रहा हूं।
शांत तो रहो ना, उसके बाद बात कर लेना आप अपने टाइम पे।
पुष्पेंद्र जी आप बोले प्लीज। हाँ आप बोले।
हाँ, मेरा निवेदन ये है कि सीएसीपी जब सरकारी संस्था जो है एक रेट डिसाइड कर रही है, उसके ऊपर जो है हमें 50% की बात खुद सहमत जो है पिछले आंदोलन के बाद भी हुई, अपने चुनावी भाषणों में भी मोदी जी ने कहा, उससे पहले अपने मैनिफेस्टो में इस बात को डाला, तो वो देने में कोई आपत्ति नहीं होनी चाहिए। और 50% का भी मैं थोड़ा बता दूं, 100 के ऊपर जब 50 रुपए प्रॉफिट माना जाता है तो 50% प्रॉफिट नहीं होता। कोई भी गणित का छात्र बता देगा कि वो 150 रुपए में 50 रुपए का प्रॉफिट हो गया, इसका मतलब 33% का प्रॉफिट हुआ।
Okay.
और दूसरी बात जो आपने अपनी रिपोर्ट में बताई कि ये A2FL फैमिली सेल्फ, कोई भी इकोनॉमिस्ट हर चीज को जब फ्रेशर कोई जाकर के लेता है, वो जो भी चीज उसमें इन्वेस्ट करनी पड़े वो उसकी ट्रू इकोनॉमिक कॉस्ट होती है। ये नहीं है कि मेरा अपनी जमीन है उसकी कोई इकोनॉमिक कॉस्ट नहीं है, उसकी एक अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट होती है, उसको जोड़ता हर एक इकोनॉमिस्ट, हर एक इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट।
Okay.
ऐसा नहीं है अपनी जमीन में प्लांट बनाएगा
Okay.
तो उसकी वो डेप्रिसिएशन को नहीं लेगा।
Okay, Sardar VM Singh, a fundamental rule of economics, one may say, is when any price floor is set, there is bound to be surplus production. This is exactly what the MSP is going to be. Every year, excess wheat and rice produced is being procured at MSP. And then, as the most effective procurement at MSP happens for these crops, cropping decisions are influenced by the price, which is certainly offered by such guaranteed prices. You know, there are logistical and fiscal constraints to these decisions. And if you look at it, primarily these farmers are concentrated in Punjab and Haryana. So the point here is this really point of contention with regards to the formula, or is there more to it?
Can I just clarify one thing, what you said? You said enough right now on this. 23 crops, or all the crops. If it's all the crops, then there's no pressure on any two crops. If you only have two crops that you're taking in, wheat, paddy, and now maybe a little maize somewhere, so some pulses somewhere. If you are taking in all the crops, then there'll be no pressure at all, and people will be diversifying on their own. And then what you can also do as such is, it's an agrarian economy. Let's not say कि किसी और देश में नहीं होता तो यहाँ नहीं होगा. Hindustan agrarian economy है. So therefore, what we need to do as such is, let's have an agriculture planning commission. You sort it out. This is a very old demand, and we have 140 crore mouths to feed. I mean, यहाँ आंदोलन करके ये करके वो करके जो है, अगर आपको लगता है रोज करें तो रोज किसान कर लेगा. But there has to be a solution to it. And the only solution that I feel as such is, there are 5 groups today in the country. एक अभी आंदोलन कर रहा है, एक जो है और एक ग्रुप और है जो पहले जो ब्रेकअवे फैक्शन है उसका संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा का, एक गुरनाम सिंह का फैक्शन है, एक हम लोगों का है, एमएसपी गारंटी किसान मोर्चा 250 संगठनों का, और एक जो बाकी संगठन है जो भाजपा के हैं या किसान मोर्चा है, संघ के हैं वगैरह वगैरह. That all these people have 5 people from each side, and 25 people can just sit on one table with the ministers, and a 1-hour debate on camera on the television will sort it out. 6 घंटे की डिबेट कर रहे हैं, 5 दिन कर रहे हैं, 10 दिन कर रहे हैं, नतीजा क्या निकल रहा है? Let the country also know what's happening. अगर सरदाना जी ठीक बोल रहे हैं या पुष्पिंदर ठीक बोल रहे हैं या मैं ठीक बोल रहा हूं, let the country decide. आज क्या हो रहा है? Everyone is taking everyone to ransom.
Okay, Naresh Siroi is also with us. Naresh Siroi ji, you know, the question is that once MSP is legalized, there will be much more, challenges in terms of procurement, where it will be all dumped, the logistical challenges and others. And if anything, the private trader or middleman would be beneficiary, and this will prove to be counterproductive, is the argument that has come in from the government.
देखिए, मेरा कहना ये है कि एमएसपी देना चैलेंज तो है, लेकिन इतना चैलेंज नहीं है कि हम उसको पूरा ना कर पाए. देखिए, गन्ना किसान जो है वो सबसे बड़ा इसका उदाहरण है कि जहां गन्ने का भी हमें जो है निश्चित मूल्य मिलता है, एसएपी मिलता है, एफआरपी मिलता है, और साथ में शुगर का भी मिनिमम रेट तय है कि शुगर भी इससे कम में बाजार में नहीं जाएगा. तो जब शुगर में हम ये कर सकते हैं तो एमएसपी की बाकी फसलों में क्यों नहीं कर सकते? इसके लिए हमें जो है ना बैठ के मैकेनिज्म बनाना पड़ेगा, तैयार करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इसमें वास्तविकता ये है कि पूरे देश में जो प्रमुख फसलें हैं उनकी जो लागत है वो बढ़ी हुई है और किसान को जो रेट मिलता है उसमें वो रेट बहुत कम है। विजय सरदाना जी बैठे हैं और हमारे बहुत सारे मित्र बैठे, कई बार बातचीत इस पे हुई है कि जो मिनिमम रेट है, जो किसान की लागत है, उसको अगर नहीं मिलेगी तो लगभग ये असंतोष पूरे देश भर में, और आज तो पूरी दुनिया में असंतोष है कि पूरी दुनिया के लोग किसान लड़ रहे हैं इसी बात से कि हमारी
Vijay
जो
Sardana,
मिनिमम प्राइस
respond to
है वो
that.
नहीं मिल पा रहा।
One view is that the private sector, including small traders, in the event of a mandatory MSP, will have no option but to stay out of the market.
नहीं नहीं, निश्चित रूप से जो प्राइवेट मार्केट है उसमें भी हम इसको तय कर सकते हैं। इसमें कोई बड़ा फार्मूला नहीं है कि नहीं हम कर पाएंगे,
Or
ये
can there
कहने
be
की
a
बात
relook
है।
which is more accommodative, Vijay Sardana?
See, we have to appreciate two things. Let me give you two more data. Last year, we produced wheat plus, because the whole issue is wheat rice debate which is going on. Last year, collectively, we produced 247 million tons of wheat plus rice. The total consumption in India for the wheat, including private, household, industry, whatever you talk about, was 217 million tons. Now there is a surplus of 30 million tons. Who should keep it? Will farmers keep if government under legal guarantee should not be forced to buy? If farmer has to keep this money or this crop with themselves and there is no market for it, it is going to cost something about 70,000 crore to the farmer. Or if you force under legal guarantee that government has to buy it, where there is no market because international prices, you leave the Ukraine war timing out. Just go prior to that last 20 years, our prices MSP were higher than the international price. So there is no international market for you. Domestic stomachs and requirements are all full. Who should bear the cost of 30 million tons? And I'm talking of only two crops. Thankfully, the same crisis was there in sugar, but because of ethanol, we had an option out. This is not the case in everything. So we have to have a holistic view. We cannot take a rigid stand.
Okay,
And my
Akshay
way of
Marathe
looking
wants
at
to
it,
come in on this. Akshay Marathe?
ये इसमें मैं एक रेस्पॉन्ड करना
One
चाहता
moment,
हूँ।
Akshay Marathe first. Let me
Maria,
bring in the politicians as well.
We have to understand that states like Punjab and Haryana have paid a very heavy price. In the last 30-40 years, they have fed the entire country because no other state was capable of producing the kind of crops that both these states were able to produce. And as a result of that, their water table has gone really low, and we are staring at a very grave crisis in these states. So if the farmers are now saying that give us MSP on other crops, they're not saying ki give us MSP legal guarantee only on these two crops. They are saying diversify the options for us. We will move away from paddy and wheat. So the gentleman who was speaking before me saying that there was a surplus of wheat production, you will be able to solve that problem by giving an MSP on other crops. Why is the government backing
that
out
was
from?
the proposal of government of India.
No,
Five
right
crop proposal
now,
was that precisely for that.
they have
which you
not
rejected.
promised for all 23 crops. They have not promised. They are saying they have not promised MSP on all 23 crops, and they are not even ready to give a legal guarantee right now. So I don't understand why there is a problem in being able to solve this. It's not just a income and economy problem. It is also going to be an environmental crisis in India. It is going to be a water crisis in India if this issue is not solved at the earliest. Secondly, the problem, like I had mentioned in my initial comments, Maria, is that there is a trust deficit with the government. The first round of talks began as late as February this year, when this issue was festering for several months. The MSP committee is supposed to have met several times. There was no proper communication from the MSP committee's progress. So how is a farmer who had an assurance from the Prime Minister, no less than the Prime Minister, that we will resolve your issues, and now the election is just 3 months away? Where is the farmer supposed to go?
Okay, so then
And so
why are the
it is
farmers not ready to believe them? Krishan Beer Chaudhary.
पहली बात तो मैडम मैं ये कहता हूं कि अभी हमारी कांग्रेस की
Maria,
प्रवक्ता कह
I
रही
just
थी
want to
कि
know,
सब्सिडी-
Maria, I just want to
I'm
know
going to come
why
back.
am I invited for this debate if
Yes,
I'm
I'm
not
coming
able
to
to
you.
speak?
I'm coming
I
to
mean,
you.
this is
पहले
going
मैं ये
on.
बता
I've been
दूं-
sitting here
I'm
for
coming
half
to
an
you.
hour.
I'm
The
coming
big
to
fight
you.
normally goes to every
Go
person by one. Otherwise, I will lead the debate. I'm
Please,
not going to
I'm
sit and
coming
watch
to
the
you.
debate.
Shama, I'm
Please
coming to you.
clarify
30
that.
seconds. 30 seconds and I'm coming to you. 30 seconds.
WTO ट्रीटी, कांग्रेस ने WTO का ट्रीटी साइन किया 2013 में। पीस क्लॉज लेके आनंद शर्मा कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर आए थे सिर्फ 3 साल के लिए। आपने तो ऐसा बीज बुलवा दिया था कि ये एमएसपी भी खत्म हो जाता प्रोक्योरमेंट, और आपकी सरकार में 5,50,000 करोड़ की खरीद हुई और इस सरकार ने 18,39,000 करोड़ की जो है खरीद की है। तो आप आपने क्यों गुमराह किया कि सब्सिडी का इशू आपने उठाया?
चलिए शमा, you respond to that.
जस्ट मिनट।
Yes,
दूसरा,
okay,
आप
okay.
पार्टी के मेरे मित्र को
Okay,
मैं
I'm
कह
going
रहा
to
हूं
respond.
कि
I'll tell you
आपने
what.
प्रॉमिस किया था कि भगवंत मान ने प्रॉमिस किया कि हम एमएसपी पर सारा कानून खरीदेंगे, ये स्टेट सब्जेक्ट है। आपको किसने रोका है? आप क्यों नहीं करते अपने यहाँ?
ठीक
और
है।
केंद्र सरकार ने कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर को जो खड़ा किया है और 2 लाख करोड़ रुपया भी जो स्टॉक रखने के लिए दिया है, वो इसीलिए दिया है कि किसानों को
Okay, I get your point. You have questions both for Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, but first Shama Mohammed. Go ahead, Shama.
कृष्ण चौधरी जी, आप जो है एमएसपी पैनल के मेंबर
Yes.
हैं, एमएसपी बात करो।
If you ask him to keep quiet, then I can start.
Yes, Shama Mohammed,
Well,
go
let's
ahead.
understand.
Let's have Shama
Let's understand,
and
Maria, very
Mr.
important.
Beer Chaudhary on the screen now, please. Yes, Shama, go ahead.
तो हकीकत पता होना चाहिए।
Can I speak, please? But they're not letting me speak. Okay. Everybody has an assured income. Now, for example, Maria, you get a salary every month. You know what your salary is. Now, these poor farmers, they don't have an assured income. And that is why we need a guaranteed price. And that is why MSP has to be a legal guarantee. See, the basic issue here, now during our time, you never saw farm protests like this. You never saw it. The reason being there is a trust deficit between the government and the farmers. And let's understand where the trust deficit started. It started in 2014 when they put it in their manifesto saying that we will give you MSP cost plus 50. The next year in 2015, Mukul Rohtagi goes to Supreme Court and says, we can't do it. Then comes in 2017, Arun Jaitley saying that, you know what, we promised to waiver farm loans, we can't do it. Then the Prime Minister of India says by 2022, we will double the farmer income. Nothing has happened. Then he gets it, before that he gets in the farm laws, in 20. And what happens to that? According to RTI, the Agriculture Department in the Government of India says there was no discussion with any unions. They just passed the ordinance. So we saw the protest for 1 year. Now the problem here is that there is no trust in this government. There was a trust with the Congress party, the UPA Sarkar, because let's also remember that in 2008, we waived 70,000 crore of farm loans. So the farmers of India trust this government. That is why we didn't see these protests. Now look, let me tell you something. In France, in Germany, in Belgium, in many European countries, there are farmer protests happening. But nowhere in the world, what you see is nails on the roads, cement barricades. I mean, you've never seen something. Where is the right to protest which is there in the Article 19 of our Constitution that you can assemble peacefully? Right to freedom of expression, not there in this country. That is the problem. The farmers wanted to come and peacefully and protest. Talk to the government. Bullet wound, bullet shot on the head for a 21-year-old. For what? Are these farmers criminals? They give us food. What is the government of India doing? That is the question we need to understand. Why is the government of India not
perhaps
allowing
respond
the
to that?
During our time, we saw what happened in Ram Leela Maidan with Aap guys sitting there along with Baba Ramdev. We didn't stop them because we know it is a right to protest, is everybody's right. Sit with these farmers. The farmers are having issues. Because of all these weather issues, they're not getting the fixed
Shama,
price
you
what
made
they
your
need.
point about
So
right to protest.
Let us help them out.
We are looking at MSP here. So let me bring in Akshay Marathe.
But the problem is the present government.
Yes, Akshay Marathe.
अभी सरदाना जी ने जो बात रखी है, मैं
नहीं, मैं आ रही हूँ आपके पास, अक्षय मराठे।
नहीं, ये पॉलिटिशियंस का ही चलेगा खेल बस केवल।
बस।
हाँ, नहीं आ रहे हैं आप लोग के पास, पॉलिटिशियंस का इसमें व्यू भी जरूरी है। हाँ, अक्षय।
No, Maria, I heard a comment saying that the Punjab government and Bhagwant Mann government has not done enough. The fact of the matter is that state governments in India have become increasingly dependent on the central government releasing their share of taxes. And in the last few years, especially after the BJP has come into the center, all states have not been getting the rural development fund on time. They have not been getting a lot of central allocation on time. So on the one hand, the center says you figure out your own finances. And on the other hand, when it comes to a such a critical issue like agriculture, they are asking the states to take on the additional responsibility. Why? Do Delhi central politicians, they don't consume the same wheat and rice and maize that Punjab farmers are producing? Why is it only the state government's responsibility? It is the national government that gets the lion's share of our taxes. We pay thousands and thousands of crores of taxes every year, and in return, what do we get back from the government? All these farmers who have given their sacrifices for the last 3 decades, all they are asking is, after we have served you, we have fed your children for the last 3 decades, we want something back this time. And now they are not willing to stop. They want their fair share of income. They want an assured income. And it is the central government's responsibility to fulfill their promises, because it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi who said he will double the farmers' income. He was the one who made the promise.
The onus is on the central government.
There is no guarantee. There is nothing called a guarantee for the income. They also want an income every month, like every one of us. Why are they shortchanged here right now? That is the question they need to answer, the government of India.
Krishanbir Chaudhary and then Mr. Siroi. Please go ahead, Krishanbir Chaudhary.
मैडम बात ये है,
एमएसपी के बारे में बोलना मेरे भाई, एमएसपी के बारे में, एमएसपी कमेटी के मेंबर
वो बोलेंगे, पहले आप उनको बोलने का मौका तो दें, पहले उसका सवाल का जवाब देने दें। कृष्णबीर चौधरी
एमएसपी के बारे में बोलेंगे,
वो बोलेंगे, वही तो सवाल पूछा है उन्होंने दोनों ने। हाँ,
जो सवाल पूछा है उसका जवाब भी तो देना है।
पुष्पेंद्र, तुम एंकर नहीं हो यार, जो एंकर है उसको काम करने दो ना। व्हाई यू आर डिस्टर्बिंग अदर्स?
सुन लो मेरी बात, ये
होल्ड ऑन, लेट द एंकर डू हर जॉब। Why you are becoming anchor unnecessary?
एमएसपी कमेटी के एमएसपी
अरे यार, एंकर देखेगा ना, आपने तो नहीं बुलाया, जिसने बुलाया वो देखेगा। तुम क्यों कूद रहे हो जबरदस्ती?
कृष्णबीर चौधरी जी, the points that have been made by Shama Mohammed and Akshay Marathe, Congress and Aam Aadmi Party is that the onus is with the central government, that, you know, when it comes to guarantee, this is the guarantee that the farmers are looking for.
मारिया जी, बात ऐसा है कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया जो अपनी स्कीम्स के लिए प्रोक्योर करवाता है, उस पर पैसा खर्च कर रहा है। और अभी भी आप देखिए कि प्रोक्योरमेंट जो कितना ज्यादा किया गया है, क्योंकि देश को जितनी जरूरत है पॉलिसीज में उतना लिया है। और जहां तक अब केंद्र सरकार की बात है, मैं कहता हूं दुनिया की कोई भी सरकार सारा सामान खरीद के व्यापार नहीं कर सकती, मैंने पहले ही कहा। लेकिन ये सही है कि जब किसानों को बाजार में शोषण होता है तो उनको बचाने के लिए स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स को राइडर लगाना चाहिए। ये मेरी अपनी बिल्कुल राय है। मैं स्पष्ट रूप में कह रहा हूं कि किसानों का कोई अपराध नहीं है, किसानों को उनकी उपज का जो मूल्य सरकार तय करती है।
कमेटी के मेंबर हैं, सवाल ये है कि सोल्यूशन क्या होगा?
सॉल्यूशन यही जो है, जो मैं आपसे कह रहा हूं कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को
स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स पे दिया। पुष्पेंद्र जी,
अपनी मंडीज में राइडर लगाना पड़ेगा प्राइवेट।
समझाओ जोई साहब, और आप जो ना सारे दुनिया की बात करोगे, लेकिन एमएसपी की लीगल गारंटी के लिए जो 2 साल आपने चाय पकौड़ी खाई है,
एक मिनट ज्यादा मत बकवास करिए।
अब आपकी रिपोर्ट आएगी, उसके बारे में कोई जवाब आपके पास
नहीं आती तुमको जो बात करते हैं। और ये आप इस तरीके से ऐसे लोगों को बात करते हैं।
हम लोग सिविलाइज डिबेट कर सकते हैं, ये एनडीटीवी है,
ये एनडीटीवी इस तरीके की बकवास
इसीलिए पुष्पेंद्र जी, हम अपने बात करने के तरीके और लहजे पर भी कंट्रोल करेंगे। ये जरूरी है, क्योंकि ये डिस्कशन हम लोग का है।
मैं रोज इनके साथ डिबेट में बैठता हूँ।
हाँ, तो इसीलिए कोशिश करते
हैं, बातें करेंगे ये।
हाँ, इसीलिए क्योंकि एनडीटीवी हम लोग और कोशिश करेंगे कि अच्छे से हो। चलिए,
सरदाना जी के पास आ रहा हूं।
Okay, before we slip into a short break, and I'll come back to all the guests for the final comments. I want to bring in Sardar VM Singh. Sardar VM Singh.
मैंने तो कुछ बोला
दो चीजें बतानी है मुझे, हिंदी में सब समझेंगे, जो नहीं समझेंगे। पहली चीज तो ये है, हम बात कर रहे हैं स्टेट की है या सेंटर की है। अब मुझे स्टेट वाले बता देना दोनों, या सेंटर वाले, कि मार्केट इंटरवेंशन कौन करता है, स्टेट करती है या सेंटर करती है? मार्केट इंटरवेंशन स्कीम स्टेट करती है। गेट दैट वेरी क्लियर इन योर हेड्स। मालूम किसी को है नहीं कुछ क्या है, कब हुआ, लागू हुआ नहीं हुआ मालूम नहीं, पर आके बैठ के हमारी सरकार बेहतर थी, हमारी सरकार बेहतर थी, लेट्स लीव दैट अलोन। अब क्या है, आज की तारीख में इतना है कि जो धड़ा बैठा है, पूरे देश का संगठन जो है इकट्ठे हैं एमएसपी गारंटी के ऊपर। किशन जी ने भी कहा, सदाना जी ने भी कहा कि पैसा जो हमें मिल रहा है किसानों को वो कम है, और जो उपभोक्ता दे रहा है वो ज्यादा है, कंज्यूमर ज्यादा दे रहा है। सो देयर हैज टू बी अ ब्लॉक समवेयर a reserve price somewhere. You have to block the people who are RTRs or people in between जो पैसा बना रहे हैं. That's why I propose MSP for the farmers. हम जो हमारा इनपुट है, हमारा इनपुट MRP पे आता है, फर्टिलाइजर MRP पे आता है, बिजली हमारी जो है डीजल MRP पे आता है, बिजली हमारी मैक्सिमम प्राइस पे आती है, लेबर हमारा सरकारी रेट पे आता है, पेस्टिसाइड सरकारी रेट पे आता है, MRP पे आता है. हमें MSP उसके बेसिस पे मिल देते हैं और हमें MSP दो और कंज्यूमर के लिए MRP लगाओ. एग्रीरियन स्टेट है, करने का काम करो, ये मत टालो, यहां से वहां टालो. फुटबॉल बना के किसान को रख दिया 70 साल में, और फुटबॉल मत बनाओ.
I have just enough time for two guests on the show, Naresh Sirohi and Vijay Sardana. 30 seconds to both of you. My question is, it's a festering problem. Multiple governments have faced it. The farmers have been on this demand for a long time. The government of the day cannot just say that it cannot be legal. There has to be a way out of it. How do you ensure that there is some kind of buffer for the farmers?
देखिए, वीएम सिंह जी ने सही कहा मारिया जी. एक तो मैं अपने मित्र विजय सरदारा जी की बात को कहना चाहूंगा, जब भी वो इंटरनेशनल प्राइस की बात करें तो केवल उतना ना करें, केवल उसमें इतना भी जोड़ ले कि इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में जो भी प्राइस है वहां के फार्मर को सब्सिडी भारत के मुकाबले कितनी मिलती है, क्या हम उसके बराबर कहीं हैं. तो हमको ये ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि जब भी हम बात करें कि इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में प्राइस क्या है, तो हम ये भी देख लें कि वहां के किसानों को कितना % सब्सिडी मिलती है, पॉजिटिव सब्सिडी मिलती है कि नेगेटिव सब्सिडी मिलती है, तब हम इस बात को करें. दूसरी बात, जो इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट है उसमें जब मार्केट इंटरवेंशन हम करते हैं, जब उपभोक्ता के लिए मार पड़ती है तब इंटरवेंशन करते हैं. तो हमको ये भी ध्यान रखना ही चाहिए कि किसान की लागत अगर उसमें चोट पड़ रही है, उसके हित पे चोट पड़ रही है, तो उसमें भी इंटरवेंशन हमको करना चाहिए एसेंशियल कमोडिटी एक्ट के द्वारा.
Okay, Vijay Sardana, 30 seconds and then I end this discussion, because the question is MSP guarantee law even feasible? You're of the opinion it's not, but there has to be a way out, because there is a member of the committee who thinks that the dialogue has to happen. So where is the point of dialogue now?
See, dialogue has to happen for two reasons. First of all, why the consumer spending is not reaching the farmer, revive all your laws, whether state or center, so that whatever consumer is spending must reach the farmer. The closer the farmer-consumer relation, better the farmer's prospects, number one. Number two, minute you bring anything legal on the procurement side, then you have to also control the production side. It means you are moving from democracy to socialist model or communism model, so that government of India can decide what has to be produced, how much has to buy, at what price. Only then you can justify. Okay. You cannot have an open tap on the supply side and continue to give guarantee of things which you don't need and you have not planned for it.
All right.
So you are talking about communism model instead of democracy.
All right, we have really come to the end of this discussion.
मैडम मुझे दीजिए.
बोलिए पुष्पेंद्र जी, 30 seconds आपके लिए भी.
MSP की 23 गाड़ियां आपके घर के सामने खड़ी हैं और 3 ही चलती हैं, तो सारे लोग उसमें बैठेंगे कि नहीं बैठेंगे? बाकी बसों में भी जब आप सेम प्राइस देंगे तो अपने आप ही ये बंदा शिफ्ट हो जाता है. तिलहन है, दलहन है, उसकी तरफ हम शिफ्ट हो जाएंगे. और जो आप कह रहे हैं कि प्रोडक्शन की बात है, ओवर प्रोडक्शन हो रहा है, कोई ओवर प्रोडक्शन नहीं होगा. आज भी देश में
गन्ने वाले
ब्रॉडकास्ट रखते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस. Of course, this is a question which will continue in the run-up to these elections as well. That's all from me. I'll be seeing you next week with another episode of The Big Fight. Thanks so much for watching.